Okay, so on YouTube, there is a lot of drama going on with this guy. You might have heard of him. His name is Jake Paul. He's got about 8 million subs on YouTube, mostly little girls, and is one of the worst things on YouTube right now. He's arrogant, he's loud, and he is one of the fakest YouTubers around. Yet people love him. Why? Well, Jake's popularity began in early 2016 when he began to co-star in Disney Channel's original show, Bizaardvark. Yes, this guy got started on one of the worst kids channels ever. And there's also the fact that Disney Channel has had a terrible track record of taking nice young actors and turning them into, well, not nice people. Most recently, their latest creation was Jake Paul, a man with no talent, no personality, and has only made it as far as he has in life because of all the money his parents gave him. You know, just saying that out loud, I'm starting to realize how this guy ended up on the Disney Channel.
Oh! Who ordered the Kirk burger with the side of Kirk fries and a Kirk shake?
However, looking into Jake Paul's history, we find out more interesting things about this shell of a man. Things like his time on Vine. Yeah, this guy used to be a Viner. It's like just the more you find out about this man, the more cringy he becomes. Because along with being a vlogger and Viner, this man is also a YouTube prankster. It's like the cringe has just come full circle. And these pranks aren't even funny. Like, who in this world wants to see a guy going out in public doing the SpongeBob pineapple prank?
SpongeBob's stuck in here.
Oh, come on, quit being silly.
I'm not being silly. My friend SpongeBob is stuck in here.
Dad, tell him you're a silly boy.
No, I am not silly. I am passionate about SpongeBob.
Or the dead body delivery prank.
Hey guys, Jake Paul here. I'm working with Paul Packaging today, and I was wondering if you could help me move my box.
He's also got a lot of other terrible videos on his channel if you want to go watch them. Videos like Call Me Maybe, Gone Wrong. But moving on from this man's past, let's start talking about the thing that first started putting this person on the figurative YouTube map. His music, which is just the worst. Like, people made fun of Rebecca Black for 1, using auto-tune. 2, using her wealth to become a pop star in place of her talent. 3, using the most safe and generic lyrics that were probably made by a 60-year-old out-of-touch man who was copying everything everyone else was doing at the time.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Well, guess what, internet? Jake Paul does the exact same thing Rebecca Black did.
Y'all can't handle this. Y'all don't know what's about to happen. All the competition, man. PewDiePie is next. Man, I'm popping all these checks. Got the brand new Rolex, and then met the Lambo too. And they're coming with the crew. This is Team 10, bitch. Who the hell I'm flipping you? You know it's Nick Crumpton, and my collar stay popping. Yes, I can rap, and no, I'm not from Compton. England is my city, and if it weren't for Team 10, then the US would be shitty. I'll pass it to Chance, cause you know he stay litty.
Except when Rebecca Black released Friday, she was a teenager. This dude is 20 and deserves just as much, if not more, hate than Rebecca Black. Now, originally I was going to stop there and start talking about his awful clickbait-filled vlogs, because there are so many YouTube videos about how much his music sucks. However, today something very interesting happened. You see, today a news team was sent out to Jake Paul's house because the neighbors had complained so much about Jake Paul that when a newscaster interviewed him, the newscaster quoted the neighbors on what they thought of him living in their subdivision, and this is how they described it.
Complaining, they're very upset.
No, why?
They say that you've created a living hell out here, that it's like a circus. Yeah.
But what did he do to deserve all this hate? Well, again, according to the neighbors, he does things like ride his motorcycle around the subdivision even when they have asked him not to, start a bonfire in his pool where he burned furniture, and apparently the fire grew so large that people living next to Jake started to fear for their own safety. And the worst thing that Jake Paul has done to this neighborhood is that Jake has also given his fans access to his personal address, which means there is a constant crowd outside of his house at all times. This means this poor, once quiet neighborhood now has hundreds of little girls outside of his house being loud, causing traffic jams and verbally attacking any neighbor who dares to say anything in defiance to Jake Paul. And the worst part is that even if the people living in the subdivision do decide to do something about Jake Paul, it will only add more fuel to the fire. I believe it was Philip DeFranco who said it best.
Different. The reason he says neighbors you won't do it is because even if they do, what's it gonna do? It's just going to give him more content. Maybe he goes to and films the meeting. Maybe he has to film going to court. They maybe film getting kicked out of their house. Then they get a new house and they do a house tour. In the past 30 days, his channel, not even including the other channels that he's helping grow, just his main channel got 500 million views. That means even if he had just a $2 CPM, he is making minimum $1 million a month.
However, after the news report was released online, Jake Paul tried to come up with a few of his own complaints to show the neighbors are just as bad as him. And his attempts to show the audience his side of the story is just, it's so laughable.
As you saw in yesterday's vlog, our neighbors hate us. They say that we're like these terrible people and we are a menace.
Well, considering all the videos we've been shown on the news, that's kinda what it looks like to me.
They are just as bad as us. There are multiple times and situations where they are just absolutely absurd. They call the cops on us on a day-to-day basis for no reason. They call parking enforcement over to give us tickets. I think last week we had over $1,000 in tickets for parking our cars in the street in front of our own house.
Okay, admittedly this does sound very biased of them, but at the same time, they cannot give you a ticket without a reason, which means you did in fact do something wrong to earn all of those tickets.
They cuss at the Jake Paulers, like little 12-year-old, 13, 14-year-old you guys, and we have the footage. Check it out.
No problem with that. But you want to know something? I will never bring my child to see some scumbags. Home is only 2 seconds away, and you can still hear me from home. Y'all bunch of little girls, y'all his bitches. But we're all just gonna stay here and watch me now. I got nothing left to say. We're all just gonna stay here and watch me. Just like everybody else. The one dude anybody cares about is in his room, and he thinks you can all go suck dicks right now. Is he out? Is he out? Is he with you?
Hey, call the cops, bro. Call the cops.
Your gate. How about your gate? I can say your gate. All you. All you.
Oh boy. I certainly do not agree with grown men yelling swears at children, but I do understand where this guy is coming from. I mean, here he is in this peaceful neighborhood, and then all of a sudden Jake Paul moves in and brings hundreds of his fans over to his house, who then stay there for hours at a time, even at night when people are trying to sleep. Like, all the noise from the crowd is just building up, like, that, it just gets irritating, you know? Like, I'd get irritated too. But yeah, this guy is obviously wrong for yelling at children, but then again, where are all their parents? Like, do their parents just drop them off and leave them here in the middle of the night? Like, what?
Very short summary is our neighbors. They are old people trying to bring down us millennials and make us look bad.
That sentence is so stupid. I'm just going to play this interview from one of your old biased neighbors.
We used to be a really nice, quiet street, and now we're just this, like, war zone. We're families here, and we're more than happy to have them live here if they're respectful of their neighbors, but they're not.
You see, the problem here isn't with them, it's with you.
Yes, we're both at fault. Like, yes, we do crazy things, but the amount of crazy things that we do, it's in our house, it's in our backyard, it's in our front yard. It does not affect them at all. 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 It does not affect them at all.
So in conclusion, we have Jake Paul, a man with no personality and no talent, who is disrupting people's lives just because he's got 8 million subs on YouTube and they don't, which in his mind makes him more important. Jake Paul, you do not deserve the success you've been given. It saddens me that the entire world is talking about you right now, when you've done nothing to deserve any of this attention.